Welcome to part 6 of our 10-part beginner Tai Chi class or course. We're going to be doing the 6th and 7th forms today. And these are both involved with balances. The 6th principle of Yang Cheng Fu is using your mind, not strength or not force. And there's a lot of things in Tai Chi where we talk about using our mind, but what it means when it says using the mind is to just allow your body to be relaxed. And to do this, you have to control where your energy or where your attention goes, where your chi goes. So whenever our body is blocked, our chi is blocked, our ligaments, tendons, muscles, whenever they're engaged in an action, we're less focused, less able to respond, less able to be like water, which is always moving, always flowing. There's a Zen saying that the water from the snow-capped mountains always finds its way into the vast ocean, even though it doesn't know how to get there or meets any kind of obstacles on its way, always flowing down, always connecting with everything. So let's just start. We'll just let our arms and legs be heavy. And see if you can bring this or embody this idea of using the mind and not force. In Chinese, it's the yi, which is the mind, rather than the li, which is the word for force. We're going to start by bringing both our fingers to our third eye point. This is our yin tang point. And see if you can just bring your attention underneath the fingers. You might like to bring your focus to your breath. Allow the next breath to go in and out. You might scan through the body, just noting any points of tightness or tension. And we're going to start this practice in a feeling of emptiness. There's a famous Zen story of the Bodhidharma visiting the Chinese emperor in the 6th century. The Bodhidharma was an Indian Zen monk, famous for taking Zen to China. And the Chinese emperor had heard so much about the Bodhidharma that he invited him to come. And when he arrived, he asked this question: tell me, what is the ultimate meaning of the holy truth of Buddhism? Bodhidharma stroked his chin and thought for a moment and then said, vast emptiness, no holiness. And the emperor was very confused by this vast emptiness, no holiness. He thought maybe this was an imposter, not the true Bodhidharma that he'd heard so much about. So he says, who is it that speaks this? And the Bodhidharma says, I don't know. What we learn from this story is this idea of ridding ourselves of self, of anything fixed or tight, and embracing this idea of emptiness. Emptiness, not as a lack, not as a void. Just letting go of our conditioning, our habit energy, anything that we hold tight, anything we resist. You might like to just make an intention for emptiness today, maybe. And when you're ready, let your fingers come slowly away and then bring them down. Let's do some very simple warm-ups today. Today is a day about balances. The 6th and 7th forms we'll be doing both shifting our weight onto one side, just like we learned in the 4th week with that idea of yin and yang, or substantial and insubstantial. And then we'll be floating one leg off the ground. Now, as we have discussed, often you feel like this makes you less balanced, but let's see if we can find a way to be more agile, more adaptable through this feeling of flow and energy through the body, merely by letting our chi move where it needs to. Let's start by rolling our shoulders. You might like to turn your chin one side and then the other. You might like to just let your wrists be loose. As you do these warm-ups, just notice any points of the body that ligaments, tendons, muscles might be a little stuck, a little stiff. Let's take hands to the hips, roll the hips. And then we'll take our whole upper body down. Just let it hang. Big sigh. Rolling out. And then this time we're going to roll down just to one side. Turn at the waist. Come back on up. And then the other side. Let's bring our hands to our hips. We're going to start shifting our weight to one leg. And we'll step forward. Step back to the center. Out to the right, or to the side. And back. We'll take a step behind. And back. A little bit trickier this time. We're going to step behind the body. And then back. We'll go to the other side. Keep the same pattern going. And see if you can start to notice what's happening with your breath. All our attention is under the feet. And we're just stamping out the clock face. Notice where your eyes are, whether you're looking down at your feet or directly ahead. And then start to notice body shifting its weight over the standing leg. And we'll do one more. And coming back to the center, shake it out. Let's see if we can loosen up our ankles a little more. Lift one heel, roll that ankle, roll the knee. And then we'll shift our weight to the other side. Roll the ankle. Let's take both feet down. Turn the palms up. We're going to lift up, lift the heel, and then turn the palms, sink down. And then pressing through that foot that's now on the ground, lift the other heel up and down. See if you can get a feeling of springing from the ground. Instead of reaching up, we're just straightening up from the heel that's pressing into the ground. Key thing with balances in Qigong is this idea of before you lift up, you press down. So you go the opposite direction that maybe your mind is telling you want to go. Just think of the whole body like a coiled spring. And then it should be quite simple to start to lift the foot up. Only when you feel that you're calm and steady, that you're feeling all four corners of the feet, that your breath is even, that your eye gaze is up. Doesn't really matter how high your knee comes up. You might like to bring your attention back to your yin tang point. Using your mind, not force, not muscle engagement. Let's shift it up now. We're going to lift up. And then as we sigh out, point the toes. Inhale back up. Sigh out. Sink down even as the knee comes up. And we'll come back down to the ground. Just place your palms on the belly. Take a moment. If you can press down through all 10 toes, through the balls of the feet, through the heels. When you're ready, we're going to shift our weight to one side. We'll take our heel down on the opposite side. Reach down and across. You might reach just the shin, you might reach your toes. Lift up. And when your arm is directly above the body, step back. And then we'll switch sides. Take your time with this one. Make sure that you feel solid on your standing leg before you reach down. And we'll do one more. And coming back to center, let's do one more. This time we're going to step behind and across again. Take your arms all the way above the head. And then we're going to sweep them down and step across and follow your arms with your eyes. Look out to the side. As we come back up, wait till your arms are all the way up. Step back, shift your weight to the other leg, and then sweep the arms across. Eyes follow the hands. Take your time moving side to side. And when you're ready, step back. And you might like to just shake it all out. So you've probably started to notice these muscles, the glute muscles. Just reach around and get a bit of a sense for it. It's the biggest muscle in the body. Also, these abdominal muscles, thigh muscles. We're using all these muscles in our balance. First form we'll do today, the sixth form of this sequence is usually called the golden rooster stand on one leg. And you want to shift your weight onto one leg and then float the opposite knee up. So you might just like to try and do that. Take all your attention underneath the feet. Lift the knee up when you feel ready. And then bring it back down. And try and take the leg up and down with control, not using gravity. Notice what's happening in your breath. Just take the knee up as high as it wants to go before you start to lose balance. Welcome to use the support if you need it. Notice that the standing leg is a little bent, back of the knee is soft. And the other thing you might notice is we're not flexing the foot. We're just letting the foot toes point down, no tension. So if you do have that calf muscle at the back engaged, remember, use your mind, not your strength or force. Where's your attention right now? All right, let's see if we can get closer to the full form. So now we're going to add in our arms. Our lower body hopefully is starting to feel a little more secure in the movement. We want to lift our arm up. So wrist is heavy, elbow is heavy, shoulder is heavy. And we're trying to create a connection between our shoulder and our hip, our knee and our elbow, and our hand and our foot. So there's three harmonies of the body: shoulder and hip, elbow and knee, hand and foot. Don't worry too much about where you're going. Just shift your weight onto the standing leg. Float the knee up. And then bring it down. And then once that hand is down, we're going to use this as a stabilizer. So it's going to come to our dantian. And this is going to be solid. So not hanging down limply, but just creating a stabilizing influence at the level of our dantian. So as we lift, you'll feel the knee float up. Remember, shoulder, elbow heavy, and then float down. Now this hand becomes the stabilizer. We'll shift our weight onto the other leg. Float up. Now see if you can keep going side to side. Remember, all our attention is down beneath the feet. It's this spring that creates the lift, the sinking first. We try and lift, we will probably wobble, we probably won't be too balanced. Notice where your breath is. Notice where your eyes are. And we'll move to the seventh form. Shake it out for a moment. So this is another one of those ones where when you say use your mind, not force, you don't want to be in your head. Or if your energy is in your head, everything is up here. You want all your energy to be on the ground. So same with the lower body. We're taking our attention underneath the foot, underneath the toes, the ball of the foot, the heel, as wide and as heavy as we can be. Make sure that glute muscle is engaged. Make sure thighs, make sure abdomen is all working for you. We're going to cross our arms, lift the knee, and then as we sigh out, we're going to extend and open the hands like a fan. Draw the foot back in and then come down. It might sound like a lot. Let's go through it again. We cross our hands. We lift the knee. Remember to keep that foot heavy. And then we open out. Draw the lower leg back. Thigh out. Take your time shifting from side to side. Remember not to lift. Sink down in order to get that elevation. Keep your eyes up. And just notice any tightness or tension in the body. Doesn't matter how high you kick. No glory in kicking high. Generally, you just lose balance. Our eyes are looking towards the hand that's extended above the kicking leg. Take a break if you need to. Notice if your energy is all up in your head. And you sink down lower. We'll bring both palms back to the body. Take a moment. Notice how you feel. Notice the chi. Every time we come back into stillness, we just monitor any small changes in the body. You might notice a little more clarity in our decision making, in our thought. We'll finish our practice today, a little bit of revision about where we are up until this point in the sequence. And I'm just going to flow through the ones that we've just done. So we'll add them on, the 6th and 7th forms. We'll add them onto the first 5. And please keep doing revision in the other videos if you feel too confused up until this point. Let's bring our legs together, feet together. Remembering Tai Chi is a lifelong practice, not something we try and master in a week or a day. Journey of 1,000 miles starts beneath our feet with our very next step. You might like to feel the gallbladder meridian running down the side of the back, palms facing towards it. Our shoulders are heavy, crown of our head is lifting up. Our chest is a little sunken, our back is expanding wide. Shift your weight onto one leg. You're welcome to mirror me if you like. I'm going to turn around and do a rear view version after this as well. When you're ready, float the foot out. Heel comes down, shift the weight. Inhale to lift up. And then exhale, sinking. Repulsing the monkey. Shifting the weight. And from the other side. Now we're holding the ball. Parting the horse's mane. And from the other side. Our cloud hands. And returning. And now we get to today, our golden rooster. And then our heel kick. And we return to center. Shake it out. All right, we're going to do that with the rear view now. Let's start with our legs together, hands by the side. Deep sigh. Just allow yourself to arrive into practice. When you're ready, float the toes out, the heel. Repulsing the monkey. Shift your weight. Now our golden rooster. Now heel kick. And we'll come back to stillness. I hope the sequence is starting to make a little more sense now. Might do it one more time together. This time, just see if you can notice something new. Forget the learning, the order, forget anything except this idea of flowing like water, flowing just like the water from the snow-peaked mountains, emptying out into the vast ocean, no matter what obstacles it might face, no matter the fact that it doesn't have a map. Everything connects, everything flows. So when we use our mind and not force, we're just seeing if we can find every last bit of tightness and tension through the ligaments, through the tendons, through the fascia in our body, through the meridian lines. Can we truly let everything sink, let everything swim or relax? All right, one more time. We'll bring our legs together, feet together, arms by the side. You might like to take a deep sigh. When you're ready. Let's bring our palms together. Last little bit of heat today. You might like to bring your hands to heart center. Rest your knuckles against this CV17 point. Our conception vessel runs along the sternum. Just rest your knuckles there. Feel your palm pressing into palm. You might like to scan through the body. Just notice any last bit of tightness or tension. Sigh it out. You might like to bring your attention back to the yin tang point right in between the eyebrows. And just take a moment in gratitude for choosing to practice today. Let's finish with our Tai Chi bow. We're going to draw energy, chi, from everywhere around us in towards the center. Take a loose fist into open palm. Draw it into the heart, and then we bow to each other.